Hey, yo, we are back at the show that is created to the fans, for the fans, and created by the fans. Man, we are back at 49ers Roundup. We got plenty to talk about, so, man, let's get right into it.
Boom, let's go.
Damn, bitch ass boy, you a fan. Damn, fuck a hood, tax you for a gram. Damn, pussy nigga, do you know who I am? Damn, bitch ass boy, you a fan. Damn, fuck a hood, tax you for a gram. Damn, pussy nigga, do you know who I am?
Hey, yo, Liz, we are back at 49ers Roundup. We are your host, CG Ruthless, and I am D's Ranch, man. We are back, man. Plenty to talk about, man, about going on with the 49ers this week. Definitely going to start with that Trent Williams deal, which resulted in him getting $37 million guaranteed and freeing up some cap space. So then what's that going to mean for the 49ers
man.
forward?
Let's talk about that, man. Like Trent Williams, he's a made man, but look, if you were to read the details of that contract, bro, he has to show up next year with no holdout clause. So that's interesting, right? And they free up some cap space, right? So, man, Niners are kind of low-key and having a great offseason, but people are keep saying, oh, why are we not going for these guys? Why are we being so conservative? Why are we not signing some offensive linemen? Why are we not drafting some offensive linemen? Hello, they are building, right?
Yeah.
We're doing something, right? Last year, we had every reason to complain. But this year, nothing to complain about.
Like I said, I mean, we did address a few concerns last week. Now with that $67 million in cap space that's there, man, we got moves. We can still improve the defensive front. There's still rumors about Joey Bosa out there right now. There's still David Njoku who's still available right now. So, I mean, the 49ers need to make a move here with this cap space that we have available.
If they want the big brother Bosa, it comes with money.
Man, I mean, even if they give him a 1 year, $15 million, do you think Bosa would take? Do you think Joey would take that?
I think it's a reasonable contract. I don't know about 15, but maybe incentives of performance. Like you can add incentive. Like let's say you give him like $12 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can go up to $50 million with a couple. Like let's say he gets like 8 to 10 sacks, right? He can get his $50 million total right there.
No, okay, that's
something like that.
Player-based incentive, things like that. Getting a certain amount of sacks, certain amount of yards, maybe a few tackles in the backfield, some big play, maybe.
Or him not missing any games or stuff like that. Those kind of incentives where it can favor both sides, actually.
Right, that makes sense.
But I think here's what I think could happen. So Leonard Floyd is a guy that happens to play with Raheem Morris in the past, and he was on our team not too long ago. He might be a possible candidate that we might just get out there. Or here's what I've heard from a lot of discussions. Maybe Jadeveon Clowney might come into the mix.
Yeah, I've been hearing about him and him being a fit for the 49ers, man. And
speed rush freak, man.
Dude for a long time. So,
dude, last year in a bad Cowboys defense, bro, he had 8.5 sacks, and I think this is probably one of the rarest seasons he's ever stayed healthy, right?
Right. Yeah, because I think he got hurt. He got hurt when he was with Cleveland. Then he got hurt when he was with Seattle too. So,
but he's been mostly hurt a lot throughout his career. But last year, I think this was probably his most durable season. If we were to sign Jadeveon Clowney, I would be okay with it just because we need somebody with rotation and some experience. And this would probably keep Clowney fresh, and he can prove himself at the end of his career, compete for a championship. But if we're gonna go with Bosa, the contract has to be right, and it's got to have some incentives for him to agree with, actually.
That makes perfect sense, man. And then, like I said, another thing on the rumor mill that was been going around too with the $67 million, man, Deebo Samuel's still somewhere in the mix as a free agent, man. I know a lot of folks have been saying he's washed. There's been rumors George Kittle's rocking T-shirts with his name on it. Is there a shot at him coming back? I know that's not likely. But is there maybe an opportunity for him to come back?
Well, these rants, man, let me just put it this way. Did you get that info on Facebook, brother? Because anything I get from Facebook is nothing but fake news like CNN news. But let me tell you what.
Yeah, for sure.
But let me tell you what. It's not out of the picture. Never say never, because we've seen what George Kittle has said before. We've seen what these guys have speak before. So the only way that Deebo comes back, let's say hypothetically what happened last year when Kendrick Bourne came, right? Let's say our receivers are dealing with some significant injuries.
Right.
that can open the door for Debo on a reasonable contract, but I think the door is starting to shut more if these guys come out and stay healthy, but I think it's not out of the door right now.
Yeah, and I could also say the same thing for Juwan Jennings, who still he did have a visit with the Vikings, but the door is still open for him as well. But now that you see Dejon Stribling getting that number 15, I think that door is shut too.
Oh man, like you know what JJ was? He was that man crush, man. That man was just hate that he had to go, and just money wise, man, money had to be what got him to leave, bro. Niners were willing to give him a multi-year contract, and he didn't want to do that. That's what hurt me. Yeah. But at the same time, you got to get your money, bro. But I think JJ needs to lower his value at this point, bro, because no team is willing to give him the kind of money he's asking for. Dude, just take whatever the Vikings give you and prove yourself. Maybe Minnesota could give you a better contract like the Niners did previous year, and maybe you could bet on it, dude. But I don't think a team sees him as that guy. Like he wants number 2 money. No, they see him as a number 3, unfortunately. Like he plays up to a number 2 receiver, but production-wise, they see him as a number 3.
Yeah, but definitely production-wise, and then he did get hurt quite a bit he did get pretty banged up last season with the rib injury and things like that. So,
but he's a warrior. He plays tough.
Right, exactly. Because he
doesn't make excuses, doesn't leave his team behind. He comes out there and plays his heart out there, which you got to appreciate about him. May not be the fastest, and may not be the fastest person, may not be the most popular guy on the team, bro, but he does whatever it takes to win ball games.
Yes, sir. And that's why, and I think that's probably the reason why he's asking for that big money for putting his body on the line. I can see both sides of that.
I can understand it, but I don't think teams see it that way. And if I'm Juwan, I'm probably just gonna have to just see if they can give me some incentive contract. Let's say Miami's going to offer me somewhere between maybe a low contract, but it can move up to maybe something similar to what the Niners gave him.
Right.
And if he proves it, it can come in his favor. He has to. They just only seen him only have 2 back-to-back seasons, 2 good seasons because he wasn't used much. Like if you think about Juwan's career, he was developing nicely as that receiver, but once he got his opportunities, he showcased it. But last 2 seasons, 900 yards was his season best because of the injuries.
Right.
Last year, he had to play a big role but got hurt, but he was still effective. I don't see why no other team wants to get him, but now I understand why. It's because he's asking for something he's not worth yet, bro. He has to prove it one more time. I think he has to prove it one last time just on this team, on a certain team.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He would have had to. It would have been a 1 year. They even would probably. I didn't suspect the 49ers franchise tagging him or some crazy shit that. They haven't used the 49ers. I don't think they've used a franchise tag, and I can't remember the last time the 49ers have used a franchise tag on somebody.
I think the last time wasn't it Robbie Gould, if I'm mistaken. Might have been Robbie Gould.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, if I think about it, if it wasn't him, it was David Akers before that. I know it was Akers. It was one of those 2.
Yeah,
that's the thing. We out here franchise tagging kickers. That's crazy work. But but I didn't see that happening. So man, hopefully he finds an opportunity somewhere. And then for our receiver room, man, it looks good, man. I do like the numbers that we did give these guys. So I do want to talk about the numbered assignments that these rookies got. I got at least Halton, Stribling, Heights, Black, and Halton. And Stribling looks good with that 15.
Well, dude, if you Stribling is only wearing 15 because it seems fitting of him because Juwan is one of the best blocking receivers we had, and he happens to be a good blocker in college, so it does seem a fitting. Can he be better than Crabtree? Can he be more productive as JJ? We'll see. But I like the talent. But
I definitely feel he's better than a Crabtree, dude. Come on now.
Crabtree had all the talent. You can say what you want about the guy. He may have been a prima donna or something like that, but that dude was talented as hell. He
was talented. He got it until Richard Sherman exposed his ass.
But you still got to at least say the talent was there.
The talent definitely was there, man. And
just his attitude.
He had a shot at winning the Super Bowl. He had a shot at winning the Super Bowl. He had to catch that thing in the end zone.
But I think the problem was, why did you keep passing, bro? You're at the 5-yard line. You could have ran it with Gore.
True. That's
where I shake my head a little bit. But when you look at the rest of the numbers, you're talking about Romello Height, right?
Yeah, 94.
94 is where plenty of great players have worn 94 for the 49ers. The last time somebody was wearing 94 was Justin Smith. That man was wearing that number at a very high level. You had Charles Haley who wore number 94.
Yes, sir.
But does Romello Height have what it takes to make that 94 look nice? We'll see. He's got the talent. He's got the good get-offs. I'm just hoping he adds up some weight because being at 239, bro, I don't know. But they're going to use him in different ways. So looking at what Raheem Morris has vision for is like he might be one of those defensive end who covers, like who lines up a little bit in coverage at times.
Yeah, you see him covering. You could see a guy like that kind of covering the little backdoor screens and shit like that.
Yeah, they're going to use him. I mean, he's definitely going to be a pass rusher, but they'll use him in different ways also. So that's when I've noticed that part.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And then we got rocking that 26 about Keelan Black. Now, you know, the last guy that I remember wearing a good 2-6 was good old Rod Woodson when he was a Niner.
Yeah, he was there for 1 year for us coming from the Steelers. But, I mean,
one of my favorite DBs coming out all time.
Oh, yeah. He was one of the best Steeler DBs, won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, had a good run with the Raiders when they were like at the peak of their time. But other than that, you can say what you want about him. He was damn good. But when you look at a guy like number 26, bro, like Jalen Black, I mean, Tevin Coleman made 26 look pretty cool at one point. And then you had Price Hawk wearing number 26 also. So that's kind of strange. But I guess we'll find out who keeps that 26 then.
Yeah, who's going to keep that 26? Yeah, I heard Price Hawk was going to get that number too. So
I don't know. The battle of number 26, I guess.
Or that he's going to rock. Somebody's going to be rock. He might get that 7 because that's what he wore in college. So, and 7 would be available.
It would be available, but I think Robinson's wearing it, right?
Yeah, because he was wearing 5 until Mike Evans decided he was going to wear 5.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Grayson Holton wears number 93. That's pretty cool. I mean, I can think of another Sooners who happened to wear 93 for the NFL, which is Gerald McCoy.
Yeah, Gerald McCoy was nice when he was for
Tampa Bay for years. Yeah, he wore 93.
And in Carolina,
but yeah, most of his career was with the Bucks. But yeah,
right. Absolutely. So yeah, that's definitely, man. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And speaking of Keelan Black, we did hear that Kyle Shanahan did have him high on his board. So I wonder why Kyle had him so ready. We know we talked a little about him having to get his 31 flavors. Do you think Keelan Black could be another one of his 31 flavors?
Is it one of those 31 flavors where they're on the bench? I mean, I still got to wait and see, man. Like, I'm not going to, here's the thing with Kyle, like the metaphor, bro. Like, why are we going for something like we had Jordan James? Let the guy have an opportunity. Let Garando and him compete for it, bro. But Jalen Black, I get it. He's more seasoned. He's more experienced. I think what stands out about Jalen Black that Kyle likes is his pass blocking. He's a good pass blocker, so that's not going to be an issue for him to get on the football field. His vision and patience is outstanding. That's what stands out. Runs a 4.45 or something like that. So he kind of has good patience on the holes. So yeah, he may be entering the season at 25 years old, but this guy is a more seasoned type of player you're going to bring into your locker room. So he's not going to be like a rookie coming in with not knowing too much, because you get a lot of these young kids, but now you're getting a lot of these seasoned guys. So guys like Romello Height, guys like Jalen Black, you're getting those guys who are more seasoned and ready for that next step.
Yeah, and with Keelan Black, another thing that's going to be Kyle, you know what Kyle likes to do. He likes to have guys catching the ball out the backfield. So hopefully that is this. I don't know if that's going to be something that he needs to work on in training camp and going into the season. As I said, have you seen any tape on him catching the ball out the backfield?
Oh, let's talk about the tape I've seen. I mean, if you want to go into the Indiana tape, that's not exactly where you want to see him catch the ball because he wasn't asked to do that. But if you watch his James Madison tape, he had almost 30 plus catches, very effective.
Okay.
I mean, you gotta look more into his James Madison tape. That's where he made a lot of catches.
Okay, yeah, because I know if Kyle's looking for his bread and butter, he wants a bread and butter closest thing to Christian McCaffrey he can get. And we know Garando can probably do that in some cases, but like I said, with him and Patrick Taylor, those two definitely gonna be the odd men out in this situation.
Yeah.
especially if Keelan Black actually shows something in training camp and in the preseason.
Well, he wasn't asked to do that much in Indiana, but in James Madison, he had those opportunities. But like when people want to compare different tapes, like okay, like when you look at Stribling's tape, a lot of what he did at Ole Miss, he wasn't quite asked to do much like that, like he did at Oklahoma State and Washington State. So you have different tapes and different ways of how they play. You can see exactly how they're going to use that guy.
Right.
From Jalen Black, he's a complete back, and from what Kyle's looking for. You want a pass blocking running back who protects the quarterback, he can do that. If you want a guy who runs those holes with patience and good vision, he's that guy. But if you want a guy who can catch the ball at the backfield, he is that guy. But like people may say, well, I didn't see that in Indiana. Well, go back into James Madison and you'll have a different perspective.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I said, because I knew that was something that Kyle's going to be wanting to do in certain situations. He wants to utilize everybody that he can, and he could do. And the thing is, he could use this offense in so many variety of different ways, and he's had the roster to do it, but yet doesn't do it because he has that one guy he wants to run into the ground. Whether it was Raheem Mostert, whether it was Christian McCaffrey, you know what I mean? He likes to have that guy ran into the ground when he can utilize his offense so many more different ways with the talent that he has. So I could see him hopefully running some maybe a little bit 4 wide, 5 wide, spreading it out a little bit more. And Christian McCaffrey can run routes too. So hopefully you're gonna have a guy like Keelan Black back there that could do some of the same type of things, situations, dink and dunk passes, get open in option routes and things like that. I don't expect the Keelan Black to have some type of crazy ass out the backfield route tree, you know what I mean? But I think there's an opportunity for him to be very effective in this offense.
Yeah, he's got experience. Like he's been around the college level for a while. Like you're getting a lot of these guys with more experience instead of the ones who are like in their 20s, like early 20s, like youngster. You're not getting a lot of that. You're getting some of those guys who are 24 or 25.
Yeah,
they know what they're doing, bro. Like, would you rather have a guy who's 21 who's still learning, or you rather get somebody who's 24 is actually ahead of the curve? I mean, it's not hard, but you probably want to go to a long-term answer, of course, but you want to get a guy who can contribute right away.
I think that's a lot of the same reason why the 49ers ended up getting Brock Purdy in the draft as the last pick, because Brock Purdy did have a bunch of games under his hat. He had a lot of college experience under his belt, so it definitely worked in his favor, and he didn't have really much of a learning curve coming in.
Well, the knock on him was they didn't like his size. They didn't think he had a strong arm, and he played at Iowa State, which nobody really looked at pretty seriously. So Iowa State just wasn't quite the school that everybody took seriously.
Right. Well, definitely, they're going to start. They're going to be taking a little bit smaller schools seriously these days.
Yeah, especially.
Talent is everywhere these days.
Talent is everywhere, but since we want to talk about these two offensive linemen, Carver Willis is wearing Joe Staley's number just like Burford. I mean, didn't you see Enrique Cruz wearing number 69? Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Man, okay, so let's discuss on Carver Willis's number, man. 74. Okay. I mean, the last guy who wore it just happened to be Burford, and he went to the Raiders, but man, it's like, is he going to play guard, or they're going to actually try to move him up to center at some point? Because I don't know. Like when I watch his tape, I'm not as impressed as some people because I can tell how good he can be. He only had a couple good reps, but when you watch him in live games,
right,
he doesn't stand out, bro. Like you can beat this guy.
Mm.
He's given up 3 sacks. He's been pushed around. Like if you put him against some good like he can't hold up on speed rushers, but when you put him against inside, he can hold up okay, but there's at times he doesn't match up well. So I'm kind of going on the limb and say I think Enrique is just more better actually at that spot than him. I just think if they want to make Carver Willis a successful pick, maybe they got to slowly put him at center where he might be more suited at.
Right.
He'll definitely play well at those positions than what you have with Brendel, but they're trying him at left guard they're trying him at left guard. I don't know if that's going to work. I just don't know, man.
Well, I mean, Aaron Banks' whole spot, man, he wasn't really successful, and he ended up moving on to Green Bay. So,
but he had a bigger size.
Yeah, and we definitely got to consider that. So hopefully, man, you see how it looks with it going into training camp. We already know Trent Williams is not going to be playing in the preseason at all.
Who needs that, man? I go work out, man. I'm in my late 30s, man. Who needs to go out there, man? I'll just go hit the gym.
Right. So we already know he'll show up, maybe be there to
I'll
coach.
show
But
up.
outside of that, it's going to be training camp. He ain't playing in the preseason. So hopefully, the guys are going to get a lot of reps and a lot of opportunity to really show what they can do.
See what the young guys could do. But Trent is like saying, man, I got my money, man. I'll come whenever I feel like, coach. I'm going to go train.
Facts.
I'm going to go hit the gym. I'm going to go do some workouts in Houston, man. So I'll catch y'all later.
Right. And then we got another one we need to address. Is called, of course, everybody's going to be talking about Brandon Ayuk. And until this dude is either not on this team, traded, released, or anything else in between, that is still going to be the talk of the town.
Well, so Ayuk's in a no-win situation because honestly, was it a no-win situation for the Niners? No, because now teams are starting to lose interest, and now all the reports are saying that teams try to reach out to him, no response. Niners try to reach out with him, no response. So he's been ghosted on everybody. So though the Commanders are no longer interested from acquiring him, maybe they're trying to hope that he gets cut. But guess what? Under what David Lombardi just said from one of those stuff that he put out there, if he doesn't show up, he can be listed as he can be placed on reserve on not reported list or something, not reported to the team list, where they can actually hold on to him beyond. So Commanders, they're just gonna have to move on, bro.
Yeah, somebody's gonna have to move on. And like I said, John Lynch has already made it adamant that he's played his last snap for the Niners. Jed York somehow still got hope at the owners meeting, but I doubt that. And
Jed York is one of the nicest guys. Let's just be honest. He's one of those nice dudes. Of course, he's going to try to have a special place for somebody like him.
I mean,
Jed does not have balls like Eddie D, bro. Eddie D would have just said it straight up. He would have told you real, like, hey, man, I don't want this guy on my team.
Right. He'd have been there when they probably would have cut him, let him go for nothing, and the 49ers would end up taking another. But then that's another huge cap hit that the 49ers can't see.
Yeah, they can still hold on to him
right now.
Yeah, they can still hold on to him right now. But the thing is like we want payback, so we want to at least get something in return. But if we can't, we'll just hold it. We'll hold it as long as we can and make it miserable for him to go elsewhere.
Well, at the end of the day, it all comes down to one person, and that's Brandon Ayuk. And at the end of the day, the best thing for him to do right now is start showing up.
And prove yourself to those other teams, and then Niners can get something in return.
Prove yourself to either the team and try to make things right somehow, some way, and try to mend this relationship, or show up just enough to where you can make enough business move to get your ass traded somewhere. Now, ain't nobody going to take your contract, so you're going to probably end up having to take like the league minimum or the vet minimum or some shit like that, or stuck on some 1 year, couple mil proof it deal.
One of those, but
you over.
I just don't know.
Hey, I don't see that happening.
I don't think it's going to be repaired because that's already crossed that road. So that's pretty much the end of him, because if that was the case, he could have just showed up and just could have addressed the issue, could have just said, man, this was unacceptable by my behavior. I need to take accountability. He could have just showed up to the team facility and apologized to the rest of the guys that he left behind. But he didn't get the chance to do that because, one, he just didn't want to be there at this point. Like, that would tell me how much of a different person he was. Yeah, forget about last season. Yeah, if we would have had him, maybe we would have had a chance. But he could have at least gone into the offseason and just addressed the issue and apologized to the rest of his guys in the locker room and maybe try to grow some balls, but he didn't do that.
Well, and I don't think in that chances. I think that chance in that ship has sailed, as far as I'm concerned at this point.
No, but it could have been like a way for him to just end on good terms and just say, man, it's on me, man.
I'm sure a couple of the members of the team still got love and stinks for Brandon Ayuk, but
yeah, they made.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out how to chop this up as some type of loss and not take a huge cap hit, one of the two.
Yeah,
or just figure out we can get a trade to somebody, anybody at this point, because at this point, you can trade them anywhere.
Because the one thing you don't want to do is destroy a brotherhood and all that stuff. Because when I was a part of a team in semi-pros, bro, the one code was if you leave your brothers behind, you better address it with them and let it be known that, hey, man, this is just business. my apology for the decision I make, man. Just respect my direction. It's not that it's got nothing to do. Like, if you would have addressed them directly, they got no problem with that shit. But if you're just gonna just hit it behind them and then just leave like that, that's where they got a problem.
All right, man. And definitely got a little bit of excitement going into this season, man. We gotta be talking about 80 years of 49ers football coming up this season, man. I'm definitely excited, man. We got the little patch and everything going on the jerseys, man. Man, what are some of your favorite memories or some of the big plays that you remember as a 49er fan growing up? And talk about a little bit of the experience that you had.
Well, as the early part of my young days, I mean, like the NFC Championship game was such a time. It was that direction that made me a fan from the get go. From the time we beat Dallas for that championship and Super Bowl was pretty much the point where I was sold. But if there was a moment that I can always relive and remember for the rest of my life, let's see, it's a tough one, man. Like, honestly, it's a tough one, man. But I don't know. Like, when we're looking at classics, games that just get remembered regardless, I don't like to remember the defeats. That's just not my cup of tea. I can't live with it. Can't live with Super Bowl 47. That's something I don't want to talk about to this day. Super Bowl 54, even though it's one of my favorite numbers, don't want to remember either. Super Bowl 58, I just don't want to talk about it. But if we want to talk about something memorable, this one, I mean, just that game against just that game when we had against that. Dude, the game against Detroit Lions is just something that stands out for me, bro, because I went to that game. It was just the atmosphere was different, but it was probably the last game I've ever attended. But that game just stands out because we were down by 17 going into halftime. There was no chance in hell. We come back into the second half and win this game, and we go to the Super Bowl. That is something that I'm always going to cherish for the rest of my life because I was a part of that. I was a part of that attendance. So,
a game for me that was really memorable for me was that Garrison Hurst run, that 99-yard Garrison Hurst run against the New York Jets. Ooh. Now, this is only a memory because I was with one of my really good friends who recently passed away over the last couple of years. So, and we were all together at that time, man, just chilling, barbecuing, all having a good time. And 49ers were back with their backs against the wall at the 2-yard line, man. Safety could have ended the game. Next play, they didn't have the overtime rules back then like they do now, where both teams can get the ball. It was whoever scored first, whether it was a field goal, safety, backs against the wall, and then next, Garrison Hurst breaks off this crazy fucking run out of nowhere.
And T.O. makes that an amazing block too.
Right. At the end of the day, amazing block, man. There's so many memories. You got the T.O. catch, you got the Dwight Clark catch, you got the Vernon Davis catch. So much memories of.
You got different kinds. But I know Brandon Ayuk is probably going to be remembered as probably the most betrayal guy, but I always will remember that catch, that ricochet catch at the NFC Championship game. That play alone is just legendary to me.
Yeah, definitely a legendary play.
Hate on Brandon Ayuk all you want, man. Hate on you all you want, but just remember that championship game where he made that ridiculous catch, bro. It just hit on the Lions player's helmet, right? And then Ayuk just
snagged it.
Dude, if you were at that game, bro, that reaction from our fans was just crazy, bro. They were just screaming like nuts, bro.
That's crazy. You were at that. That's a crazy, wild experience.
Dude, the atmosphere. Okay, from the atmosphere from the beginning, we were quiet because we were down. There was a couple Lions getting a little too ahead of themselves, but when it came to halftime, bro, everything changed. It just the momentum changed, and everybody it got louder and louder.
Right. And once
those plays came in, bro, we came in and won, bro, and that's something I'm probably gonna always remember for the rest of my life because I've never been to a playoff game before. Right. And the person who took me there was a fun experience. Like going to a playoff game is different than a regular season.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's loud. It's everything on the line, bro. Everything, every play counts. Little mistakes here and there, you're done.
That's absolutely, man. That game was could have easily went into Detroit's favor and could have
Yeah.
stayed that way. And we get pulled out the momentum, got the win. Of course, we didn't get the job done in the Super Bowl, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, man, we are still the best team in the world, man. And definitely gonna be make sure y'all tune in for the next episode of 49ers Roundup next Wednesday. The show that is to the fans, for the fans, and created by the fans. Make sure you pull up next week. And until next time, we are out. Peace.
Peace.
Damn, bitch ass boy, you a fan. Damn, fuck a hood, tax you for a gram. Damn, pussy nigga, do you know who I am? Damn, bitch ass boy, you a fan. Damn, fuck a hood, tax you for a gram. Damn, pussy nigga, do you know who I am?